Hey guys, Pyronic here, and this is Spiral Knights by Sega and Three Rings. If you haven't already watched my video that I did before, go and do that, because this basically continues where that one left off from. Anyways, now that Spiral Knights has been released to the public as of April 4th, 2011, wanted to do a video for the showing off the rest of the tutorial of the game, and to really just introduce the game to as many people as possible, and help people along. If there's anything that they don't understand, etc., etc. So after the last video, we left off here just after we entered the rescue camp. The rescue camp was altered significantly from the preview event and beta, so a lot of this might be fairly new if you played the preview event and haven't yet started your Spiral Knights, your Spiral Knight since release. So the rescue camp here is significantly smaller, and the three previous tutorial dungeons were compressed into one, which shows off some of, but not everything that the previous tutorial did. The rest is actually shown off in the dungeon that crosses the bridge to Haven, the main town. See, on the left here, I wanted to show off that although they altered the rescue camp, you can see the dungeons that previously housed the tutorial over there on the left-hand side if you'll come through here. They do leave a shopkeeper here, although we don't have enough crowns to purchase anything yet. I'll show that off after we get through this first dungeon. So this is the, I'm going to show off. So the rest of the rescue camp here. So if you want to skip the tutorial completely, you can just walk straight up here and go straight to the, I forget what this is called. It's just called Cross the Chasm, I think. The chasm into Haven, which is the main town, which everybody said. You have more NPCs that answer questions for you. If you are wondering about any of these things, then it really is best to just see what the NPCs have to say in game. If not, I'll leave some links where I can be reached, and you can ask me any questions you want. So here we go, the Abandoned Depot, which is the new tutorial for Spiral Knights. They changed a little bit of the way the adventure board here works as for starting parties, and I didn't want anybody, any other players, accidentally joining me in here while I was trying to show things off. So I started my own party and made it invite only. So we're gonna just get started here. They do have a lobby here, so you can get together and get your one health Vitapod, which is nice, I guess. So the preview event players were awarded a special armor and helmet with the Greek beta and the shiny gold embellishments on the armor here. This is the Groundbreak armor. It's significantly better than the normal starting armor, but now that the game is in release, not everybody's going to be starting with this, so I'm going to show it in the normal armor that you start with. One of the possible normal armors. All the armors you start with, or you can choose from while you customize your knight initially, they all look slightly different, but I'm almost 100% sure that they all have the same stats. There's no weird min-maxing for that. So we didn't show off too much of how the game actually worked in the crash site to the rescue camp. So there's a lot more here. There's actual stage hazards and many more enemy types that you would see in any actual game. This here is a gun puppy. They're the turret enemy for the game. You'll see a lot of variations of them around, and they are quite... they can get pretty dangerous later on. They can sure put the hurt on you. There's some boxes here with more hearts in them. This is just telling you that you can hit switches to open doors here. Another interesting thing that they added that wasn't in almost any of the preview event was a new system of measuring the way that you do damage here. If you're noticing a little screen shake and a lot of flashing going on where I'm hitting enemies, they added a system to give you feedback about how much damage you're doing and how effective that damage is going to be against the enemies you're hitting them with, based on the size and color of the sparks, as well as any visible screen shake. I think this is the only method of seeing what damage you're doing by default, but you can go right into the options menu and enable the damage numbers to show up if you want to make sure that just how much you're doing. This another sort of new enemy. They're basically like Mecha Knight zombies. They're pretty easy here. Normally later on might provide significantly more of a challenge. More difficult variations. That's another theme in Spiral Knights. There's a few enemy families, but variations on the families will have different attacks, will do different types of damage, will inflict different status effects. You'll see them. You'll find them in different places, etc., etc. It's just more things to find. They give you a lot of. They're pretty generous with health all through the first third of the game or so. Hearts, health, and refilling heart boxes like that are going to be much rarer. So this is another. You see another. I wouldn't say obstacle, just I guess facet of the Spiral Knights dungeons is these colored crystals. Colored crystals will destroy any other crystals of the same color that they're touching. North, east, southwest, they don't. I'm fairly sure they don't care about diagonals. No, they don't care about diagonals. So way more hearts here. I don't know who would be getting hurt so much as to need this much health, but I don't know. Whatever. I guess they really want to make sure people don't die while doing the tutorial. This is a ghost block. You can, if you hit a ghost block, it will destroy or remove any blocks of the same type that are adjacent to the ghost block in its four sides. And this also propagates through all the same blocks of the same type that are connected to the original ghost block. So here, again, hit this ghost block is going to get rid of both of those types of blocks altogether. It's just your first experience of a real melee here. The big button there is usually, I'm pretty sure everybody just calls them party buttons. Everybody in the party currently has to step on the button for it to activate. They're usually used for important fights or to show the way, to keep the entire party on the right direction. Got some explosive blocks here and also some timed bombs that only detonate after 3 seconds. A little bit of a bug here. The ghost block got rid of the timer before it had finished exploding, but the timer kept going. Here's a little tutorial about how the shield works. The shield, when you raise the shield, has its own health and also resistances to different damage types. Different shields you find might be more protective against certain elements or certain damage types, or might have a large pool of health so that they'll be able to absorb many attacks at once. That's another thing you have to go. You should experiment with for yourself. So here, showing the different colors the shield takes depending on how much damage it's taking. After it turns red here, it'll break. You take damage from that attack, and then you have to wait for a few seconds for the shield to regenerate. It starts back in orange and slowly goes back to blue. So they really want to sort of emphasize. Probably the best advice I or anybody else can give you about Spiral Knights is learn to shield. Learn to shield early, shield often, and stay safe. Because once you start to get into this game, the difficulty can be unforgiving if you don't know how to use your shield correctly. So it's just a pretty standard encounter here. You'll hit the party button, doors will lock behind you. Enemies will spawn in waves. These guys aren't exactly the most lethal. And you'll see after you finish a group or an entire wave of enemies will spawn. Not much more to say about that, I guess. Just beat these guys up. Keep going. I'm trying to remember. It's been a little while since I recorded the first video. I'm trying to remember exactly how much I described of the game. That tree there is a fairly beefy monster. They will inflict stun, which is a status effect that slows both your movement and attack speeds. It can get really annoying. It's not really a boss though. You'll find plenty of them, but they do take much more punishment than most monsters. So we're about to finish here. This is it for the tutorial of the game. Pretty much describes most of the types of gameplay you'll encounter while playing Spiral Knights. Well, most of the simple things, the gameplay things, learning how the controls work and everything. So we picked up a lot of heat there, and heat. I can't remember if I explained this. Heat is used to level up your equipment, which is basically the only type of grinding progression in the game other than acquiring new equipment. You can either buy new equipment, which I'm about to show off here. I was checking the gate to see if there's anything else, but that was it. This is actually initially blind, almost completely blind, because I had not seen this new tutorial content yet. So if you want new equipment, you want to progress through the game, first way you can is to buy new equipment. Equipment is rated by level and also the number of stars there. All the equipment you can buy here from this first vendor is 0 stars, and the equipment you start with is also 0 stars. The maximum number of stars is 5, and we just bought a couple new weapons to show these off. So first we've got a Slime Slasher, which is a shovel that does a mediocre amount of damage, but it has a bonus to any monsters of the slime family. We picked up a different gun, which is a single shot punch gun. The idea is that it hits harder than the normal blaster, but you can only fire it once before having to reload, so it's a bit slower at doing the damage. Hopefully with a much higher punch. So we'll talk to the NPC here, and then head across the chasm to reach Haven. Gotta make sure I'm starting my own party as before, so I don't get any interlopers messing up my run. Generally, though, when you're actually playing the game, you almost always want to be playing with somebody. The benefits and rewards for playing with other people far outweigh any benefits to playing alone. Both in difficulty and also reward in terms of heat and crowns and item drops, etc. They're all scaled up with the number of people that are in your party. So you'll make much, much more money, and your equipment will level up much faster if you're in a group of other people. And also you'll have options if you are felled in battle, if you die, if you get beat by the monsters. So this is the chasm here. It shows off some of the more advanced advanced features. No, some of the more advanced gameplay mechanics here. Showing off a little bit of the punch guns. It's not that big of a punch. Oh, one thing they never went over was how the charge attack works. So you have your normal combo. You hit the attack button or whatever you have it set to enough times, and you have your combo. Most swords have a 3-hit combo. Guns will fire anywhere between once before reloading like this, or up to 5 times, or even more with some other guns. But if you hold down the button instead of rapidly clicking it, you start charging up your weapon. And when you get the yellow glow about you, that means your weapon is fully charged, and when you let it go, instead of doing a normal attack, you'll unleash your charge attack, which always does more damage than a normal attack, and frequently has a special treat, basically. It always... Some weapons will have special effects or attack animations when you use their charge attack. They might shoot fireballs, or it might be a large shot that ricochets and does damage, etc. That's up for you to explore. So we're starting to pick up some items here, which are not crowns and heat. And the vast majority of these are going to be alchemy components. I think alchemy is the second way of acquiring new items, and probably going to be the most frequent way of acquiring new items as you progress through the game. You're going to get materials that drop from monsters, and you'll find recipes at various merchants you encounter while exploring the Clockworks. You'll purchase the recipes from the merchant, and then go to an alchemy machine, which looks like a little vending machine. You'll find them around Haven and a few other places. And you can pay some crowns and some energy along with the materials you need to create an item, and out pops a fresh new item. The bonus to performing alchemy rather than just buying an item from a merchant or from another player is that there's a chance to get a unique variant of a weapon that awards it a special extra stat bonus. You might, if you have an armor that gets a unique bonus, it might have some extra defense against a certain type of damage or a certain status effect. On a weapon, it might do extra damage to a certain family of monsters, or have a chance to or reduce the cooldown time on swing, or shoot, I guess. Make you do those things a little faster. These are fairly highly sought. The odds aren't that rare. You'll probably see a unique variant within your first 3 or 4 items that you craft, but the better the variant, the much rarer and highly sought the prize will be. So just using these golden keys to open up these doors here. This is a new mechanic. So we have these statues that, oh, first we have these buttons. You can step on the button to trigger something, but if you let go of the button, it becomes undone. It's just a pretty standard pressure plate switch and putting statue on them. It's very, very Zelda, and putting pots or statues onto switches that's some classic gameplay right there. So back on topic with alchemy, unique variants. So for instance, a highly sought unique variant on a sword might be that you're trying to build a sword that by itself is strong against, let's say, slimes. You get a sword that's good against slimes, so you're pretty happy with that. But then you get a unique variant version that is does additional damage to slimes above that. So you get you start to be able to do some pretty lethal damage to slimes above and beyond what you'd normally be able to. So here we get to see our first look at zombies, I believe. These are another pretty frequent enemy in the Clockworks, and they're zombies. Well, I think the game officially calls them skellies, but I'm pretty sure everybody who plays the game most likely will call them skellies. Get a little bit of a frame rate issue here when I was recording this. I think my hard drive had almost completely filled up with footage, so I had to go and pause and clear some of that up. So it was only a couple minutes here, and the footage wasn't really altered that much. So here we go. Here's the elevator all the way to Haven. So we get this heat leveling up our items. We see these alchemy ingredients that we got. Haven as a town is instance, and so you can see here we're loading into Haven 3 here. In the upper right hand corner on the minimap there, you can see that it says Haven 3. If you left click on it, you can see a list of all the instances of Haven that are currently occupied, and you can go and move to them if you need to find somebody you're trying to buy something from, or meet up with some friends before you head into a dungeon. So here you can see our objective changed. Instead of saying cross the chasm into Haven, we now have to head north into the arcade and report to Faron. This is pretty important, and for all new knights, you're going to want to do this basically as soon as you get into town. As you can see, the various trips that we've taken have taken a little toll on my mist energy in the bottom right hand corner, down to 63 now. And as a bonus surprise, well, it's not really a surprise, it's a bonus gift for making it all the way to Haven and completing the tutorial, we are going to be rewarded here as soon as we talk to Faron here, who's got this blinking talk to me icon over his head. If you want to read this, you can read it on your own Spiral Knight, or you can pause the videos. It's just the backstory of the game. Spiral Knights crashed into a planet, need to get a new power source to power their spaceship, and we're going to dig our way down to the core of the planet and see if we can steal some energy. That's right, Spiral Knights are the bad guys. We are going to murder people to get what we want. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this look at Three Rings Spiral Knights, and it's free to play and available now.